I know I'm not those things. For example, I'm not rich.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I look good.
You do look good.
You know what I'm saying?
Say, which one are you gonna say you are?
I mean, I'm not rich, and people don't know who I am like that. I'm not out there like that. I just know side by side comparison. I do know most women are going to go that way. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm ugly or I ain't shit as a man. I just know what it is, and I accept it. Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Buffet Podcast. Brought to you by your favorite hosts, Brandan and Ciandra. This is episode 110.
Oh.
Yeah, 110. Episode 110, y'all.
That's good.
Yeah,
good
episode 110. So, first and foremost, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe. We really appreciate it ahead of time. We're trying to get these numbers going.
Run it up.
We're trying to run it up. You know, so we had a little bit of luck from our last episode 109. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and rewatch that after you watch this. About the family. We got lucky. We got a little clip going a little crazy online right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
The people are lighting me up. So if you see the video online and you see a comment that you disagree with, well, you can't unlike it. What can you do? Respond back and be like, "No, I totally understand what she was saying. She was so right."
Y'all gotta watch the whole thing to be able to get the whole thing. But yeah, going a little crazy. Not saying it's helping, but it's helping us out. You know what I mean?
And the more you comment, even if it's in defense of me, the more engagement you get. So comment, please.
Say something.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So right now, that's what we got our people. We got our subscribers over 130. We moved past the 130 mark. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I feel like we're gonna get to 200 faster than we got that first 100, which I'll take it. I'm happy. We're trying to get it going. So each and one of all of y'all who are listening and listening to the podcast on whatever platform y'all use, and whoever be watching our stuff on YouTube, we really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? You guys are part of the community. We like it. We appreciate you. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what that tone was. You guys are part of the community.
The community. I don't know. We don't have a name yet. I don't think we're big enough yet. So
I was gonna say the eaters, but that.
Ooh, no, work. That's not so sexual.
I was gonna say the thoughties, like food for thought. But
the buffers.
Buffers.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm okay with that.
The buffers. Maybe we'll workshop it. Yeah. So we are back from the holidays. Well, not the holidays, a holiday, Thanksgiving. I hope everybody was able to enjoy their time with their loved ones, whomever those may be. Hope y'all had some good food.
Yes, especially the food.
That shit is good food. You know what I'm saying? Your boy gained a lot of weight, water weight, of course. Only gained a lot of weight from eating all that good food, but it was worth it. And I'm paying for it now, you know what I'm saying? Slowly, but it's happening. That was some good ass food.
I'd do it again. It didn't take that long though, babe. From what we felt when we first got back here on Monday to how we feel now. Do you feel?
I feel back to normal. The scale says differently, but I feel pretty much back to normal. Them first workouts on the when you first come back joints was tough, but
ain't no joke.
We're here. So
we're here.
So let's have a little champagne toast, because why not? It's always a good time to champagne toast, y'all. Salute. Tink tink. That's some good stuff.
It is. What are we talking about today, babe?
Today, this is a video brought to you by you, by way of Instagram. I'm not sure if our listeners, viewers, people who
you were going to say people who are watching.
Yeah. I saw out there. I can't remember when it happened. It was somewhere in the past. Maybe was it like this year? Maybe last year. A lot of these several videos of like women teaching their men on how they should respond if other women approach them when she's not there, and then like doing different takes of like, nah, you didn't do it right. You're being, and they having to do it all over again. If you remember those, then this is the response. This is the man teaching the woman how to respond when these dudes run up on them, because odds are that's probably going to happen more often than the other way around. So, without further ado.
Really cute. Hey, excuse me. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Man, I love your fit.
Thank you.
You are well put together.
Thank you.
See, no, See, you are so no. You doing way too much. You so friendly. You're hella friendly. We redoing it. We redoing it. We redoing it.
All right.
Hey, how you doing today?
Good.
What does your shirt say? Black mixed with shea butter, coconut oil, self-love, intelligence.
Yeah.
That is so. See, nah. You are a friendly motherfucker. Did you know that? Man, we redoing this shit. Hey, and if you fuck up again, you got one more time.
It complimented me on my. Okay. All right.
Hey.
I got a man.
Yes. Yes. That's what I'm talking about.
Hee hee ha ha.
Hee hee ha ha hell.
It's cute. We're cutesy. Humorous.
It was.
What are your thoughts?
I thought it was cute to see it from the man's perspective. And the thought that I had earlier was like, oh yeah, a part of the reason that both sides are doing this is you do have to learn how to engage with the opposite sex differently when you're no longer available for relationship, right? Like, because a lot of things can be interpreted as flirting when you're in fact just being friendly and like don't even see the other person as a sexual being. I know for me in particular, I don't see you as a sexual being.
All right, John Cena.
You.
For people who can't see, yeah, she was doing the John Cena can't see me.
It's not registering for me. I can see someone recognize that they are attractive and be like, oh, okay, this person is attractive. And that's it. I guess I don't think past that. And I also don't have a good radar for when someone is flirting with me. I'm just being friendly. I'm just being nice. So I probably would also need the benefit of that coaching because I would be like, no, he's just being nice. No, men aren't just, or in general, or on average, men aren't just nice to women to be nice to them. Men are nice to women with an agenda behind it, often revolving around whether or not that man is attracted to you. And so be mindful of that. The more you engage, the more you lead them to believe that you are available, and that attraction can go further. Think about that other video that we just saw where the girl was talking to the man and was like, how old are you?
And he was like,
old enough.
Old enough. He was smooth. He was getting out of the questions. When's your birthday? Tomorrow. Yeah. Oh, you gonna make me a cake? You already got the cake. Yeah, come on over. I need you to blow out my candles, girl.
Yeah.
I was like, he's smooth with it.
He was quick. So you're like, I was just asking him his age, and the next thing I knew, we ended up someplace totally different. And so being mindful of how when you engage with people and you're in a relationship,
that's crazy.
Not
I know that you were being. I was like, oh yeah, we were just talking about his age, and next thing I knew.
Back shots.
Yeah, there we go. I appreciate you keeping it PG-13. Yeah, I was like, next thing you knew, I was like, okay, cool. That wasn't your intention. I'm sure
that wasn't my intention. I just meant the more that you engage, the more potential there is for murkiness of like where you stand and what you do. But I don't know if that's going to happen to us anymore because we ringed up.
Yeah, and
I don't know if anybody's gonna like flirt with me.
And usually when they see me, they see you. Like you're right there. We usually go everywhere, damn near everywhere together. And when I'm not with you, it's usually on some business type stuff. But yeah, definitely the ring will keep the nice ones away. The ones who are habitual line steppers is not going to do nothing for them. Not nothing to them. So that will help. Yeah. So I like that topic of your patterns of behavior when it comes to interacting with the opposite sex with the sex that you're attracted to,
yeah, has
to shift. Not will, but I'm it has to shift once you are dating seriously in a relationship. That means female friends. That means just female women in general. I wanted to be offended when you was like, only reason that a man would come up to you is because, they're interested in you for a sexual being. And I was like, no, men can want to talk to you just because. I'm like, no, unless it's a work situation. Usually if you're walking up to a woman that we do not know, it's usually to get to know her in a more romantic, biblical sense, potentiality down the line. Outside of
romantic, biblical sense is crazy.
Outside of, yeah, it is. outside of like, you know, the workplace environment and stuff like that. And if it's for that, we usually get to the point where you're not like, oh, you know, what's your name? Like shirt, reading the whole shirt, trying to have this whole conversation and leading back to like, no, we here because in the work setting, man talking to woman like that, we got to minimize the contact because the perception. Yeah, so I was just, in saying that, I just had the thought of, you know how we saw that video where it was like how they were talking about like women and how women treat men, and they were saying like, if you wouldn't say this to your boss,
yes,
and expect to keep your job, why would you say this to your man? I was just thinking like, for a man speaking to a woman in a non-work situation. So it's like, if your boss was a woman, would you say that to her? Would you approach her and behave like that to her in the work environment and expect to like and to make it seem like, and not expect that she's going to think something outside of business is going on? If the answer to that question was it no, then you shouldn't have that interaction with that woman. I just thought that. What do you think?
No, that makes sense. I would have even subbed in a female family member. Like, if you wouldn't say this to your auntie, would you or should you say this to this woman who is not your woman? Does that make sense?
Kind of. Because there's a lot of things I wouldn't say to my auntie that I would talk about with you as my woman.
No, but I thought you were coming from the approach of, this is a woman who is not the woman that you are dating.
Right.
And you're having an interaction with her. The interaction should be basically like,
okay, gotcha. Ooh, it took me a second for me to get that. Yeah.
Yes. Basically, the interaction should be one that you would be comfortable having with a female family member.
There we go.
Because anyone outside of circumstances where your relationship is open and maybe you can approach other people, if you are in a monogamous relationship, any interaction with a woman who is not the woman that you are in that monogamous relationship with, it should be the same way that you would treat a female family member. Because unless y'all got some wild stuff in your family, there isn't any sexual potential, chemistry, romantic connection, or interest apparent in your engagement with your family members. If you take that same approach with women who are outside of your relationship, you can stay above ground. I think the challenge is, and that's what's presented in these videos, is when the other person is the aggressor, right? So like,
aggressor seems aggressive, but
the approacher.
Yeah.
In the circumstance where I'm looking for you to behave a certain way, I have seen you behave. I've seen you interact with people. So I know that for the most part, and trust that for the most part, you keep it above ground. It's more so about like that situation where someone approaches you. Like, you got to teach your kids what to do in case somebody tries to kidnap them. Yeah, like I have to help you be prepared and understand what that looks like. And me as well, because again, I'm like oblivious now. Like now I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, why would you say something to me?
Yeah. And I think to your point of you having blind spots when it comes to some interactions with men, like at least on the front end, I think guys also have some blind spots when it comes to interactions with women, mostly in the sense of like any female womanly interaction is automatically like, oh, she must like me.
That's the blind spot?
Yeah, that's true. No, like prolonged interaction. Obviously, something like, hey, where is this? Where is that? When you like for a specific like thing that they're talking to you about, like the scenario in which he walked up to her in that video, he walked up to her and then started talking to her and started reading it. If a woman did that to us, we'd be like, yeah, she interested. She's trying to get something.
Oh,
there is no chance, little to no chance that a man is going to be like, oh yeah, she's just being friendly.
Oh,
they're gonna be like she's being friendly because she's interested. So let me. Oh, what's up? Are you interested in the show? Okay, let me talk to you. La da da da. And yeah, so
interesting because in my mind, I am just being friendly. I'm like, oh, that's. I guess
because men don't approach women unless they're, for like you were saying earlier, unless there's like an intention there, potentially outside of what we already established. So in our mind, the reverse is also true.
Your engagement is a confirmation that my intention is being well received.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I'm going to have to keep that in mind because in my mind, I'm like, I'm just being friendly. Like if you speak to me, I'm not going to hit you with the I got a man and walk away, because I do feel, to me, that's an extreme that I'm not comfortable with, because I got a man and I'm walking away means that either I don't trust myself to be able to engage, or I don't know, like I don't have willpower, or like what's going on here that I can't say something to you and be like, okay, have a good day.
It's like you're on a diet. Someone comes in with a pizza and you're like, I'm on a diet, and you walk out the room. Like, bro, chill. You could just not eat the pizza.
Yes, you can. You can control yourself in this situation. You will be okay, and that's why I'm not comfortable with that. I
agree with that.
You can say something to me. I can say something back to you, and then if you say something that is like overt advance, hold up, I got a man. I don't know what you think this is. Like, we're not having that kind of conversation.
No, I appreciate the interest, I guess, but no. Or thank you for the interest, but no.
Thank you for the compliment.
Yeah, I like that one. Thank you for the compliment, but no. I was like, as soon as I said it, I was like, no, that sounds like I'm saying, if I was in a relationship, I'd pursue this. Right. So thank you for the compliment. Obviously, you have good taste, but
that's your sauce.
That's out the way. No, this can never be more.
This can never be more. I'm already betrothed.
So I guess this could bring up a broader question or conversation about what the interaction should look like for non-stranger people that are sexes that we are attracted to after you're in a relationship. So like you happen to have a homeboy, I happen to have a homegirl, or maybe not necessarily like my best friend or your best friend, but like there's like a woman or a woman that like I speak to on a regular basis. It was not sexual or anything like that, but like we were, we would go out, we would do stuff, but then after you get into a relationship, what should be the expectation on how you move or how that relationship is navigated moving forward from both sides? I know, depending on who you speak to, there can be a lot of pushback on something like, well, if they're my friend before I met you, you can't expect me to not be friends with them, after you, which is, I can understand that. But yeah, I asked you a question, so I'll let you answer it.
And I feel like we've talked about this before. And I think one of the ways that my answer has evolved is thinking about like, what role does that person play in your life? And is that role now filled, or is that need, whatever that want, now fulfilled by being in a relationship? Because a part of sometimes the reasons that we have friends that are of the opposite, not the reason, but I guess a part of the benefit of having friends of the opposite sex is to be able to do things that you would typically do with the opposite sex. Like, oh, I want to try this thing out, but I know it'd be cooler if somebody else was there with me. I don't want to go with my boys. I'm going to just bring my homegirl, right? Or I'm a woman. I want to do this thing. It would be safer if I took a man. I'm going to take my homeboy. He's going to come with me, right? If that is a part of the fabric of that relationship, and now I have a partner who can stand in the gap for me and be there for me to do those things, then I think that may be one of the natural ways that the friendship kind of changes, because like, I don't need you in the same way that I needed you before for certain activities. But that's an isolated situation. Not everybody's friendships are built in that same way or have that same kind of like...
we're friends because we have use for each other.
Yeah, it doesn't have that same utility is what I was looking for. It doesn't have that same utility as a part of the fabric of the friendship. And so in those cases where you are... One more thing. In that previous sense, those friendships are also one-on-one friendships. It's not like a group friendship or like you are a part of my group of friends. So not only do I know you, but such and such knows you. And if I go someplace, you're more than likely going to be there, right? And so we would have an opportunity to have some interaction in group settings as well as schedule some time for some one-on-one hangouts. But like, I know I'm going to see you because have greater... connection with people who are a part of my network, right? It's not like you're an isolated point. I think that also makes a difference because, your friend who is your friend of the opposite sex, but is also a part of your friend group, will still see you even if something changes in your relationship status. And it won't be like, dang, you fell back on me. It's like, no, I've fallen back on everyone. I'm in this relationship. Like, this is my priority right now. I'll make sure I catch up with you, XYZ. So I think that that's another part of it as well, because the optics of you being in a relationship and then going out on a one-on-one hangout with someone who is of the opposite sex, I am not comfortable with that. Like, I mean, I know you went out to coffee with somebody the other day for business, right? But it's business, like whatever. I don't have I don't have feelings towards that. But I do think that in a situation where somebody called me afterwards and was like, Brandon was out with this girl, you know, I'm not comfortable with that. Immediately upset.
I mean, it's understandable. It's an understandable feeling. I'm not going to sit here and act like it wouldn't be the same for me as well if the roles were reversed. So I definitely get that. The group setting thing, I think, is definitely much more understandable than like the one-on-ones. And I just think just on the strength of the change priorities and the time that you have available to distribute it, you really don't. Once you have somebody, you really don't have time to be doing like one-on-ones somewhere. It just. I mean, I guess you could, but I guess it's not efficient. So it would make more sense to see the group at once, and we all can hang out and have a good time, and then we all go back about our lives. And I think that makes more sense. I mean, I think that makes more sense because that's literally what happened, at least for me.
But you know what I was just thinking? It'd be kind of nice if your man went out with another woman who was his friend, or a group of women who are his friends, because nothing is better than having them block all other women. If I have a trusting relationship with a woman who is your homegirl, y'all go out, have a great time. I know she's not going to encourage you to do anything stupid unless, if I trust her and I think that she is, you know.
Yeah, because it's like, if we clip this and you put this online, boy, they're going to be like, that's the one you need to watch out for the most on both sides.
Boo Boo the fool.
It's like, yeah, you trust her to go out with her homie. You know what I'm saying? That he know everything about her. Cause you think he gonna hold off other dudes? Okay, bro. Wait till something go wrong with you. I don't know, something along those lines.
Well, never mind. There goes the whole hope in my theory.
I get what you're saying, and I can see where you came up, like how you got there. Because I can see myself getting there as well. But like realistically, I'd probably still be like, no, it'd be better to keep other men off of you.
Me,
your man, yeah.
Let's go out as a group. But I think it's tricky. I think that works well if both of you are single. It could be, no, that's not a good thing. Unless you're like intentionally not looking for somebody. But when I think about when I was single and I had a male friend, I'm like, back up. Niggas can't see me because you here.
That's also, I think that, I don't think a lot of women think about that early on. Because, I'm just thinking about my life, teenagehood upwards. And it feels like, and it seems like women when they're younger, they have no problem having male friends in their lives and going out with them one-on-one. But if they're still single when they get to like late 20s, 30s, I don't see that as much. Because I think at that point you start to realize like, these dudes it's protection. Like you see a dude, other dude's going to kind of hands off. We don't know if y'all together or not, so we assume that you are off top. You see a woman that look good walking with another dude, that could be her brother. We don't know unless y'all twins, and even then, considering we'd assume all right, they together off of that immediately. So yeah, that's a good point. Do you think the same is true for the reverse? If I'm out with another woman, do you think that signals other women to leave me alone, or do you think that might send to him like, oh, he's been vetted?
I personally would leave you alone. Like you are out with somebody else.
The good ones, the nice ones would leave you alone.
And also, on average, women don't approach that often, right? So and the approach is more passive than it is active anyway.
It's trash.
So you're sitting there talking to another girl, you're having a conversation with her. I'm making eyes at you. If you look back, that's okay. Now you have to say something to me. I looked at you.
Yeah.
That was
women have no game. I'm gonna say that. But yeah.
That was game.
To you and your girls, Y'all practice the art of subtlety.
That was it.
Like how can I show this man I'm very, very much interested without anyone else seeing me do it, because I don't want to come off and be look like I'm needy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's why we can't have mental based superpowers.
Why?
Bro. The amount of subliminal like thought insertion that women would do, it'll tear down this society. Just randomly having a good time with your boys and suddenly you was like, I need to turn around right now and walk up to the first girl I see and do X, Y, and Z.
What's the X, Y, Z?
I don't know, whatever you thought.
Whatever she put in her head.
Oh. Bless you.
Thank you.
Got another one now?
No. I don't know why I covered the mic. I thought it was going to make it lower, but
it does not.
Bless me, and sorry if you heard me sneeze in your ear. Hopefully, Brandon will bleep it out.
It was it's like real soft, like off.
Okay,
they definitely still heard it though. But yeah, I was thinking like,
oh wait, I have one more thing to say. Ahead. I was thinking about Marguerite, friend of the pod.
I thought what happened.
I talked to her and she said I could say it.
Okay. Does she know the people asking about her?
Yeah, I sent it to her.
Okay.
Marguerite, friend of the pod, who has a male best friend.
Hey, yo, and my boy who listened and who said, what up with her, I relate the message. So, you can find him in our comments.
She has a male best friend, a gay male best friend who is married. And so a part of the thing that she comes across is like, he's tall, he's a man. So when they're out, people think that they're together. And she's like, come on. Like, no, he's not my man. Or if she's hanging out with them, because they are a part of the community, they want to go to like more gay bars or things like that, right? And so like, again, you're not going to find a man there. And so I'm thinking about people who have those friendships where, yes, this person is of the opposite sex, but maybe they identify as LGBTQ. And if I'm out, I'm damned if I do. Like, if I'm out with you, cold. People think you're my man and world. You don't even like me. If we hang out together in spaces that are catered towards you and your community, there's no man who would be available to me in that community.
So you saying, so in essence, kind of, sort of, we can infer from that like it would behoove young women who are seeking relationships and finding, a man to get together with, to minimize their going out with, or make sure that when you go out with your gay friend, that is in a neutral location where you have the possibility of meeting non-gay men, but at the same time,
a neutral location. But if you go to that neutral location, I just told you,
still, so it's like,
still looks like he's your man.
So it's like, dang, so you can only hang out with them inside, like at the house, like come through, like we chilling. We chilling at the crib. That sound like if you were saying, like, yo, it sound like, yo, unless you are already in a relationship or married, or you also are part of the community, you probably shouldn't really be hanging out with gay dudes, because like, not because they're bad people. It's just like when you hang out with them, it still looks like you're with a man, so other men aren't going to approach you. Mm-hmm. And if you do, you're probably going to go to LGBTQ friendly locations, and the odds of you meeting a man who is interested in you plummet tremendously. Mm-hmm. So it's like, yeesh.
It's a double-edged sword.
Dang, I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm. On the flip side, if you're a man with a lesbian best friend, I don't think you face any of those same drawbacks.
No, it's low key. It is a benefit for a man to have women that be seen me hanging around women, straight or not, especially if they look halfway decent to good, because that is a resume builder. Women see that, and then if you interact with them, like, so like, let's say we went, we hung out, so we had happy hour somewhere, blah, 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 and then there's some woman that was there and they saw me, but they also saw me on the app or something like that, and we matched and we meet together. Of course she's gonna bring it up. Oh, I saw you with such and such. Oh, that's that's my friend. Ain't nothing going on here. I just think that if women see you with other women, especially if they look good, to them it's just like, he must be something. Like he's able to interact with these type of women or this woman. I think personally, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I think that it is like look more as a plus. However, if you get into a serious relationship it can then turn into a negative because then now those attractive women that you were hanging out with before, if it's not automatically switched over to you only meet in groups, it may become a problem. But I'm saying on the front end, when it comes to just like that first parts of interactions, I guess I think for guys having female women friends is definitely not a negative.
I feel like I've heard this theory multiple times, this idea that like women want men that other women want. And I feel like that's a part of what you are establishing, right? Like if you're around these other women, they trust you. There is something that is attractive about you, even if it's only to be a friend to you, that is keeping these people around. And if you're a good enough person that women want to be friends with you, that is a sign, because I don't want to talk about how men are and downgrade them, but often women don't have a lot of men friends because men aren't interested in the same type of friendship that women are interested in.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
That's not downing. That's just facts.
Yes.
That's 1,000% factual.
Yes. And so I lost my train of thought, but I don't know how much I agree with the
women
want men that other women want, because for me that it doesn't do it for me.
I mean, do you think you're the majority? That's a follow-up question that people need to ask each other when they try to invalidate a general statement with, because I'm not like that. Like, would you consider yourself and how you think to be the majority of of this type of what have you, or do you think you will be more on the exception side, in the minority? You're
right. I'm probably in the minority because it's the same thing with trends, right? Like I'm a person who's like, I don't really like trends. Unless a trend I feel like actually really suits me and it's something that I would like to keep and kind of continue to do, then yes, I'll invest in it. But in general,
you're not following every trend.
I'm not following every trend. I'm not a trend chaser. But a lot of people are. A lot of people want to keep up with the Joneses. A lot of people want to be in the new, in the now, right? And that same thought process is what follows them over into women want men that other women want. This feeling of like, oh, if she had him, I want to see what that was like. Or if they want him, I need to find out why they want him. Like that kind
what's
of like
going on over there?
Exactly.
What's going on over there? Or, and I secretly want to say, I think secretly, but it's not secret anymore. I'm about to say it, that there's the competition of I succeeded. So it's like, oh yeah, he had all these baddies, but he didn't stay with none of them. I got with him and he stayed with me. Ergo, I'm better than all y'all. And but I'm not going to sit here and act like the reverse can't also be true. Like, I'm sure if a dude, wifed up, some woman that is known to hang out with ballers, shot callers, and then, in their mind, like, oh, maybe not.
Like whoever marries Lori Harvey is gonna be like, yeah, I caught the big fish.
But I mean, I guess potentially, as long as that happens next handful of years,
you can catch a delayed fish.
No, you
can. You don't think somebody would be excited to wife up Halle Berry today, right now?
I mean, yeah, people. Somebody would be excited.
Why are you saying somebody like that?
People would be excited. I don't think it would be the majority.
You don't think the majority of men would be excited to wife up Halle Berry? I can't wait.
No, I don't think so. I think they'd be excited to pipe up Halle Berry.
Why not wife? What's the distinction?
Well, she can't keep a man. That's minimum.
But you just said on the reverse side, a man who has had multiple women that he has ended relationships with.
But that's for women, though. For women, that's like, yeah, I did that. But for men, it's like, why can't you make it work with any men?
What are you talking about? The same should be true for these men. It's not. We don't know that every single time he left her. All these women probably left them because they were trash. And so this woman who finally gets to keep him, you get to keep a headache.
But the dark part of our minds, or especially I would say women's minds, equates like handsomeness, and if they got some kind of money to them being top tier. In the sense of like, he looked this good, he got this much money, he be able to take care of all this. you got to be crazy to leave this man. Outside, unless it comes out that he out here beating, he out here essaying and doing wild shit.
No, babe, because
all right now.
I saw something a couple of weeks ago about Common's dating history and how does
Common have a problem finding women?
No, I'm not saying he has a problem. Mm-hmm. He has a problem keeping them. The fact that all of these relationships have not lasted for very long and they have ended, to me, indicates that something is, he been ran through.
I agree with what you're saying. However, he keeps getting into other relationships with other women because other women still see him and be like, I want that.
I know. I think we agree on that part. I think the thing that we disagree about is where the value separates from like wanting to be the person who is caught and be in a relationship long term versus like, oh, because you've been in all of these relationships, why would I catch you? You're bad at relationships. And I feel like you're saying that for women, that's the narrative that follows you, is that you're bad at relationships. You keep ending these relationships. And for men, it's, oh, your relationships just ended, but if I catch you, then I really have achieved something. I'm saying that I think that that's true across the board. Like, J-Lo keeps getting married for a reason. It's not like, I think that's what I'm saying, that there are women who have been able to consistently attract men that they still find value in. It's not like that there's something wrong with the man who is now choosing them or that they have fallen off. And so if that's true for men, why can't it also be true for women? She can have relationship issues, not be the best, but not be discarded.
I can see that. But I think where the premise may break down is if you pull back from the extremes of each of our examples. You pulled out J-Lo. That's S-tier woman. I pulled out
Halle Berry first, and you said Halle Berry was just pipeable.
That's true. I did say that. 100% did say that. But reflecting, that's still an extreme. If we bring that down to like the everyday person, like not everyday, but just the person that you are more likely run into in your everyday life. A dude who is stand up, looks good, got his life together, been through many different relationships. Do you think he's going to have an easier time to continue to be in more relationship, even if they continue to not work out, than just the same for a woman? And by relationships, I mean relationships with the intent of it lasting, like not breaking up, versus like we together, but really we just like in a situationship. We just smashing. In my mind, I'm not looking at you for nothing serious. They're not looking at you for something serious.
I think that a part of the challenge, I think that there's a couple of things happening. So let me start with the first thing being that the man is a person who has access to relationship. You ask me to be in a relationship. I don't ask you to be in a relationship. Ooh. So
counter.
Sure, he could get into a lot of relationships. He has the more choice, or exercises the choice more freely to be like, hey, do you want to be in a relationship? Will you be my girl? So yes, sure, he could probably get into a relationship significantly smoother. On the other side of that, I think for women, relationships, especially a relationship that ends negatively, like ends in heartbreak, right, can create this narrative for you around like your relationships, what's happening to you in your relationships, and some of your beliefs, especially if you already had some beliefs already of like, I'm not good enough, nobody chooses me, stuff like that. Think about what we
Golden
saw.
Basher. Ooh.
Yes, right? Like that belief system is already here. And so you get hurt 1-2 times. I don't want to do this anymore. It's less about your ability to get into relationships and more about your beliefs around relationships and your desire to pursue one.
Desire and willingness to pursue one and do the work that it does. All right. I think you got me on that one. I think I took an L on that one, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? You win some, you lose some, but you live to fight another day.
Yeah. But I think you're right of bringing it down to like more everyday things. Oh, this is the other thought that I had about that. Of in everyday life, a woman who has been in multiple relationships can have a stigma attached to her, right? But that's depending upon how public those relationships are.
That's also very true.
Without social media, without like publicizing your relationships, nobody knows what you've done unless you tell them. And so celebrities are a good example because
We see
everything.
Mm-hmm.
Any person that they potentially want to be with is interested in pursuing them, has seen everything. Like Kim Kardashian has a sex tape. She has not had a problem.
That was the start. That was the opening hand was a sex tape. But I hear that. Yeah, and also any of those people, if they're seen with anybody that's the opposite sex of them, or the sex at which they're attracted to, we automatically say they're together, also, even though they may not be.
Exactly. And so that's why I think celebrities are a good example in terms of like women's success rate, because there is nothing that is private about that. And men are doing the same thing you're accusing women of doing. I've got to see what that was like.
Mm.
Yeah. And I arrest my case.
Arrest? You arrest your case? Mm. Points were made. But I still think there's some truth to what I said on the like pipeable versus wifeable.
You're saying that because it sounds like it works well together.
Pipeable. I mean, pipeable, I can't help that it pipeable, wifeable. But yeah,
Migos.
I think that is true. I don't think we see a Lori Harvey, for continue your example.
Mm-hmm.
At least right now, for me, say if I'm single and I come across Lori Harvey with what I know of her, there's nowhere in my mind where I'm thinking I'm going to wife her.
Are you the majority or the minority?
I think I'm in the majority. I feel like guys right now, if knowing what they know of this woman because of social media, we know that she's been in and out of a lot of relationships, like a lot of good dudes. Well, not excuse me. I'm sorry. You're right. She has done nothing wrong. She's moving correctly. She be in relationships. She's interacting with these men within the concept of being in a relationship, which we want people to do. So I ain't gonna hold you that. But from what we see is she's been in a lot. She's been in relationships with several different men. Different men in which everyone can agree are fire dudes. Like they good. They look great. They money's on point. They popular. They got the clout. They look good. They for all intents and purposes, from what we know, they nice. They good. They good stand up citizens. So it's like, if you're not going to go with this Adonis of a man, ain't no way you gonna pick me to be that dude.
Huh?
At best, we gonna pipe and we gonna go our separate ways.
But is that I guess a part of what I'm hearing you say is an evaluation of whether or not that person that she was in a relationship with was good enough, right? Like if you're not going to stay with this man who on paper looks good enough, would be good enough, any other woman would die to like be in your
some
place.
Men too.
Yes, and you just keep walking away from these relationships. Who is good enough for you? Okay,
it's like he look better than me. He got more money than me. He got more clout than me. His shoes look better than me. He get more woman than me. I do. Ain't no way I'm in contention. It's no freaking way. Ain't no way. If it happens, I'm like, bro, what? I'm living in. What's going on? What's going on? Something ain't right. Am I getting punked? But we had a whole. Hey, at least we could try to pipe. We could shoot a shot. But when we shoot the shot, we are not thinking that this is going to lead to anything like marriage or we're going to be in a long-term relationship. We're shooting our shot to see if we can at least hit. We should at least entertain what I'm talking about right now. On the low key, we 99% sure she going to curve the shot us, but we couldn't be us if we ain't at least give it a shot. If I die tomorrow, I'm not thinking, damn, I should have shot my shot.
I appreciate the self-confidence and let's just see energy there of like, okay, I'm gonna shoot just in case.
Completely out of my league. If there's one thing that life and society has beaten to men is the hierarchy. Men generally are very, very well aware of just like where they stand on like just the societal hierarchy of, especially when it comes to mate selection and stuff like that. We know, of course, there are people who like overshoot, got higher, overinflated. We see that everywhere. We can't help that. We're talking about this, but the regular stand-up citizens. Most guys are very aware of just kind of just where they stand, plus or minus 1 or 2 points. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, she definitely looked better than me. She got a little bit more going on for me, but she's still within reach for me. And then we got ones that's like, ain't no way I'm in contention. If I try to shoot here, I'm probably going to brick it, but I'm going to shoot anyway. But every once in a while, people shoot and it goes through, and we're like, what the fuck? Why is she with me? And that's how you hear a lot of these stories about like beautiful, powerful, successful woman getting caught up with the pookie. Like, yo, how did that happen? I don't think he thought that was gonna happen at first, but you know, history being what it is. But yeah, I think that for dudes is just like let's just see.
I just feel like I feel a couple of things. The first thing that I feel like is the shoot. From my perception as a woman, the shoot is okay. Let's just see. But the continuous pursuit is, oh, you're interested in me, and I read interest in me because I have always wanted to be married. As like, okay, I'm only going to engage or be interested in you as far as I can see you going to that place. And once I realize you're not going to that place, and I'm no longer going to engage with you. Okay. And so as a man, if a man was pursuing me and he never saw that as something that could happen,
that you was going to like entertain him for the long term.
Yeah. Okay. If he never saw that as something that could happen, but I'm investing because I do see that as something that's potential.
What happens?
Yes. Not only what happens, I'm pissed, right? Like, think about even what we saw last night on Golden Bachelor, right? Like this idea of like, okay, well, at this point I expect this to be here, or like at this point I thought we were 100% locked in. So I didn't imagine a world in which you were like, nah, this was just cool. We just hanging out. And so I think taking it back to Lori Harvey, which was the example that we were using earlier, is like, it could be that. It could be that, like, it could be, I thought I'm trying to get serious eventually, and I'm with someone until I realize that I can't be serious with them. I've learned enough at this point that, like, actually I know that it can't work, so I need to walk away. Okay. Which I wouldn't fault her for. I think that makes a lot of sense. And I don't think that should discredit her from being eligible for marriage from other men because they see her as someone who would walk away from a relationship.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with it. Like, it makes like total sense. But I'm just speaking to you of just like the psychology of the male psyche versus the psychology. Like, you know, there's a lot of shit that makes sense on paper, but it just doesn't bear out practically out in life. So I get that, but I'm just saying, like, this is what it looks like to a man's mind. This is a story that men are telling themselves, and this is what you see. That's why that happens, because those thought process. Sure, in a perfect world, we don't think about it, but we do see, because of the high reviews, like, we see a woman curving, like, not just one, not just two, not just three, like, top flight. When women speak of the example man, they're speaking of these men. She's curving those men. What is she missing? What are they not able to give her? And whatever that is, I know for sure I don't have it.
No, babe. Wait.
I know odds are I don't have that thing.
No, babe.
Because even if I had that one thing, I don't have those other things that we know women also need with that. Oh, because she's looking for Michael B. Jordan mixed with whatever she liked from Franklin from whatever the hell, mixed with all her other dudes, and then plus that missing X factor that none of them had that she needed to stay in that relationship.
Okay, well, when you put it that way, then yeah, that is a little rough. In my mind, I'm like, no, the thing that she's looking for, well, two things. First, the idea that these men are top flight that is held by a general population of women is not women who have had direct interaction with them, right? And a part of the reason that you can be top flight and lifted up is because of the distance. Like, what do we know about Michael B. Jordan's personal life for real, right? Like, and I think that's true, especially of people who are actors, where the point is for you to see the version of me that I want you to see, and for you to have enough distance from me and my personal life to be able to see me assume the role of this other character. So that is a part of it as well, right? Like, this general population perception of this person is influenced by all of those things, and there's this distance. But when you're a person who is in their social circle see them, have an opportunity to interact with them, who knows what it is that you're seeing? And because any man that you would be willing to date or interested in dating would, like you said, have to check all those top flight tiers in terms of like money and power, that's the pool that you're picking from. Mm-hmm. So I will throw these ones back, but anybody else that I date would be in the same pool. Mm-hmm. And the person who I want, who needs to be in this pool, needs to have this X factor, and that X factor is whatever. Mm-hmm. But if I found that, well, at least if it were me and I was in that position, if I found that X factor, if that was the thing that was most important to me, then I would look for the person who had the X factor as opposed to those other qualifiers.
Fair. And that's you, of course. You're the minority in that, especially in the pools in which she's swimming, where image is like damn near everything. Mm-hmm. It has to make sense. But also if we take that, what you're saying, it makes a lot of sense. Like that is something that when you say it, like it makes a lot of sense, and I agree with it. However, that is not how people think. They don't think about those contextual things. It's too deep. Split second decision making that impacts and influences how we behave in everyday life. These are the things we're talking about right here. Mm-hmm. And of course, if you were to meet her, outside of just like, if for some reason you are in a situation where you're able to interact with her on a more, consistent basis, whether that be in groups or what have you, you would learn those things about her. And then you'd be like, oh, okay, I understand. I know how you are as a person. I know how all these people are real people, la, da, da, da. Mm-hmm. But odds are you're going to run into these people in like a flashpoint, like a flash in a pan type situation. Like, I got to capitalize now, or I got to make a split decision type situation. And right now, what we know of you is just what we see. And that's what we base who you are on. Mm-hmm. And that's all we can really base who people are on. We can only base it off of just what you show me, what we've seen. And guys see that, and it's like, irrespective of what we know and believe about like how personality plays a significant part in like attraction, and which is 100% true. We can't discount that like the first like how people perceive you, how you look, your status and stuff like that does not significantly impact your ability to attract people sexually or non-sexually. Yeah,
that's true.
So it's just that hobby. So it's like, we haven't heard anything. We haven't heard anything bad. We haven't heard so much as a whisper of anything negative about any of these dudes. So that means to our minds, they're good dudes. Mm. If we ain't nobody got nothing bad to say to them, that just means they good dudes. They regular dudes. We can have a beer with them. We can hang out. They don't do nothing wild, nothing shady. They're also rich. They also got money. They're also well known and regarded. They also look very good. So to most of our mind, these dudes, they won. Like what? I mean, in our mind, they cool people. You know what I'm saying? They got the money. They got the clout. That's that's what every woman want, ain't it? Mm-hmm. I know I'm not those things. For example, I'm not rich. Mm-hmm. I mean, I look good.
You do look good. You know I was going to say, which one are you going to say you are?
I mean, I'm not rich. And people don't know who I am like that. I'm not out there like that. I just know side by side comparison. I do know most women are going to go that way. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm ugly or I ain't shit as a man. I just know what it is, and I accept it.
Okay, that makes sense to me.
Yeah. So it's like, if this woman is saying no to these stand-up dudes, and I know I only meet one of the criteria, but she's hollering at me, what's going on?
I see something in you.
Okay. Yeah. So that's that's all I'm saying. The man's psyche versus like the woman. Every woman think they can pull Idris Elba with the right opportunity.
He's a married man.
I'm just saying, like,
yes,
single
but
him.
I know what you're saying.
Who was the sexiest man alive? Harry Styles. I'm not talking, of course. I don't know. Maybe might be some black woman who bang with him, but we're talking about just general. The populations, the non-black populations. I mean, I know some
No
black
disrespect.
no disrespect to our white brothers and sisters. But yeah, that's not just white, but just everybody that ain't black around. But I know there's some black people who like Harry Styles and think he's handsome for a white dude. They always probably caveat with that part. But yeah, insert attractive male celebrity that you're attracted to. Mm-hmm. All right, how you feeling? You feeling good? I'm talked out. I feel like for some reason I feel like the talk turned into something else.
I know
it was related. It was related, but it wasn't what we started with, which I'm completely okay with. I like the organicness, I guess, of non-GMO of these talks, these pods that we've been doing the last couple of times. It's been So, any final food for thought?
I learned something today about the male psyche, and
I feel like I just told you something you ain't never heard of before.
Yeah, I don't.
You still don't believe it all the way?
No,
100%.
That's not what I was going to say. I think I'm consistently surprised by the differences, contrast, just the differences between the ways that women think and the ways that men think. And I think that a part of that is because my closest male relationships are with people who are becoming men. Does that make sense?
Right. In the sense of
they're not already
it's much like your brothers and stuff like that. Yeah.
Keith, people who are becoming men, not people who are men already.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like there are things that I don't know, a lot of things that I don't know that are commonly held beliefs among men because I don't know many men.
Fair, but I think they are also women who do know and interact with men, so to speak, who still don't know the comment, or either don't know or refuse to accept because it doesn't make sense to them. So which means they're lying, which means what I thought is still the truth, low key. Don't argue with me. True. Argue with your mama. But yeah,
okay. I don't know that that's true because again, that hasn't been my experience, and it's always interesting when I learn something. So that's my final food for thought. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's why. But also, the male psyche is why people want to get these men off podcasts. Nobody wants it. The women don't want to hear that.
That's the problem. And that's the problem.
I guess a part of what you're saying is true that women don't want to hear it because they don't agree with it, and then not agreeing with it, or feeling like it's wrong. They don't want to they
don't want to engage with it.
Yeah.
Which, I understand if you don't agree with what people say and it makes you feel some type of way, you're entitled to those things. There's a lot of stuff that women do and think and say that we don't agree with, and we really wish y'all wouldn't. But even though we don't agree with it and we try to talk y'all down and be like, y'all should do this instead, we also recognize that this is just what it is right now, and we got to live with that. We got to live with it until it's not. On the other side of that, it seems like, just my personal opinion, women don't refuse that last part. They'll hear it, they won't understand it, they won't like it, they'll hate it. So we want you out of here because we refuse to accept it, even if we see it playing out in the world. We're rejecting that reality, and we refuse to live in it because in our minds it needs to be like this, and we're living in the world that we think it needs to be, but you're there by yourself. If that makes sense. It's like, nah, I don't like this world. I'm going to create this other world and I'm going to live over here. And they went and lived over there. But then why are there no men here? I'm mad at those men for not being over here in this world I made. But I'll be like, no, this is the world that is right over here. Does that make any kind of sense?
I think I'm hearing what you're saying. I'm thinking about some of the stuff that we see on social media where women are making demands of how a man should do, say, be, whatever.
Everything.
And it's because that's the kind of man that we want. Why aren't y'all the men that we want? And men are like, no.
Where are these?
Where did that come from? I don't want to do that. I never said I wanted to do that. And then they're like, shut up, man.
Yeah, there's no basis of where this man existed. Where y'all getting this from? He's like, what you talking about? What? What? And I think that's the frustration. I think that's really at the heart of a lot of the frustration back and forth with these gender wars. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if there's going to be any resolution to that. But
well, we're not in a gender war over here.
We're not.
We together.
I mean, all we can do is train the next generation to listen a little bit more. You ain't got to agree. Can you at least understand how they got there? That's all. That's all we. If you can do that, if you can at least understand how they got there, even if you don't agree with nothing of what they did, I think you won it. If you can just get to I understand what you got there. I don't agree with another. Then I would never want you to do that shit or follow through with it or I don't like that it happened over. But I understand. I understand how you got there.
Mm-hmm. We all need to do that.
We all just want a little bit. We all just want a little bit of understanding. Mm-hmm. Both sides. I agree with you on that. I feel like I still didn't give a final food for thought.
I felt like that was. I mean, you responded to me, but I feel like that last part was around like
everybody just want a little bit of understanding.
Everybody wants a little bit of understanding. Listen. You can listen and disagree.
You can listen and disagree. Ooh, that's a bar. Mm-hmm. You can listen and disagree.
It's giving. You have been listening to Think Again. Have you been?
Yes. That's been my audiobook of
choice.
It's my next audiobook I'm listening to right now. Listening to while you go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? It sticks in. Is that a Think Again thing?
Yeah, like the ability to be able to disagrry.
That was the last thing I heard. That was the last thing I remember listening to about that. It's even it's coming in. Hey, my man. I was gonna say Ted Grant, but Adam Grant. Adam Grant, author of Think Again. Pretty good book so far, and he makes some excellent points. All right, y'all. And we appreciate y'all tuning in to another episode of the Buffet Podcast with, again, your favorite host, Brandan Ciandra, episode 109. If you made it all the way here,
110.
Oh, excuse me, 110. I'm looking at the wrong one. Episode 110. If you made it all the way to this point in the podcast and you still aren't subscribed, what's up, man? Woman, whoa, come on. Get on the train. Bang with your people. Rock with us. We love you anyway. We'll see y'all next time. I hope y'all have a good, first week of December. Yes. Stay warm if it's cold. And I guess keep your winter and summer clothes on standby if it's warm and your temperature keep flip-flopping like it is here. We love y'all. We see y'all. Peace.